Kate Middleton is back at the center of the royal conversation, not because of one dramatic palace announcement, but because of what her recent appearances seem to represent. After trooping the color, Royal Ascot, and her gradual return to public duties following cancer treatment, one royal author described the Princess of Wales as the closest thing the royal family has to a rock star. But that praise comes with a more complicated question. How much pressure is now resting on Kate at a time when the monarchy is still managing public scrutiny, family distance, and the personal aftermath of her health journey? That is why this update matters now. Kate's presence at major royal events has become more than a photo opportunity. It has become a signal of continuity. And according to the latest reporting, that visibility is also being discussed as a heavy burden, especially because her return to public life has been careful, gradual, and shaped by health updates she has only shared in limited public terms. For verified entertainment updates without the rumors, subscribe to Startline Entertainment. The latest wave of attention followed Trooping the Colour in London on June 13, 2026, where Catherine, Princess of Wales, appeared alongside Prince William and their children for King Charles' official birthday parade. The event itself is one of the monarchy's most familiar traditions, a ceremonial display that has marked the sovereign's official birthday for more than 260 years. It brings together soldiers, horses, musicians, royal pageantry, and the balcony image that often becomes the public symbol of the royal family's current state. This year, that image carried extra weight. People reported that much of the optimism around the royal family has centered on Kate, with author Catherine Mayer saying the Princess of Wales is the family member everyone wants to see. But Mayer also framed that public demand as a serious burden for someone who has already faced major health challenges. That distinction matters. This was not an official palace statement. It was expert commentary about Kate's public role, and it should be understood as analysis, not a confirmed private view from Kate or the palace. To understand why the moment landed so strongly, the timeline has to go back to March 2024. Kate publicly announced that cancer had been found after abdominal surgery and that she was undergoing preventative chemotherapy. At the time, Kensington Palace did not disclose the type or stage of cancer, and that remains private. Reuters reported that her office emphasized her right to medical privacy, and that is still the line that responsible coverage should respect. Then came her first careful steps back. In June 2024, Kate attended Trooping the Colour, while still saying she was making progress, but was not out of the woods. By January 2025, she announced that she was in remission after visiting the Royal Marsden Hospital, where she thanked medical staff and said recovery remained her focus. That public wording is important because it gives the clearest verified health status without inviting speculation beyond what she chose to share. Since then, Kate's return has not looked like an instant reset. It has looked measured. In May 2026, she traveled to Reggio Emilia in northern Italy for a visit tied to the Royal Foundation Center for Early Childhood, studying the city's internationally recognized approach to early childhood development. The Royal Foundation confirmed that the trip focused on relationships, environment, community, and the role those early years play in a child's future. That Italy trip mattered because it was not just ceremonial. It connected directly to one of Kate's long-running public causes. It also showed how her royal role is changing, less about simply appearing at events and more about using her return to reinforce the work she has built over years. But that is exactly where the pressure grows. When a public figure becomes a symbol of stability, every appearance can be read as a message, every absence can become a headline, and every return can be expected to reassure people. Just days after Trooping the Colour, Kate returned to Royal Ascot for the first time since her cancer diagnosis, joining Prince William in the traditional carriage procession. Sky News reported that the appearance marked her first time at the Berkshire event since being diagnosed in early 2024. That made the outing another visible step in her resumed public life. But again, the important word is visible. A public appearance does not mean the public knows everything about a person's recovery. At the same time, another update showed why the attention around Kate can become deeply intrusive. The UK Information Commissioner's Office confirmed on June 17, 2026, that it had concluded a criminal investigation into the unlawful obtaining and disclosure of medical information connected to a breach reported by the London clinic in March 2024. The ICO said a former healthcare professional received a formal caution after the deliberate misuse of highly sensitive personal information and an offer to disclose it for financial gain. Sky News reported that the private medical records involved belonged to the Princess of Wales, while the ICO's official statement did not name the patient. The watchdog also said it did not identify wider organizational failings that met the threshold for regulatory enforcement. That detail matters because the confirmed official outcome is narrower than some headlines may suggest. A formal caution for a former healthcare professional, no wider enforcement finding against the clinic, and no palace comment adding further private medical detail. That privacy story sits directly beside the rock star conversation. The same public fascination that makes Kate one of the monarchy's strongest assets can also make her personal life a target for attention that goes far beyond ordinary public interest. Responsible coverage should not turn that into a spectacle. It should explain why privacy, recovery, and visibility are all part of the same public story. The wider royal backdrop also explains why Kate's role is being discussed so intensely. Trooping the color came as the royal family continued facing questions around Andrew Mountbatten Windsor, formerly Prince Andrew. Reuters reported that he was arrested in February 2026 on suspicion of misconduct in public office relating to Jeffrey Epstein, and later released after questioning. That remains a legal matter, and an arrest or investigation is not a finding of guilt. People also reported that protesters appeared near Trooping the Color, with signs referencing Andrew and Epstein. That placed public criticism at the edge of a royal event designed to project continuity, ceremony, and family unity. In that setting, Kate's composed presence with Prince William and their children became part of a larger visual story. The monarchy trying to show steadiness while controversies and unresolved questions remain close by. And that is where the public fascination becomes more complicated. Kate is not the monarch, she is not the heir, but she is married to the heir. She is the mother of the next generation in the direct line, and she has built a public image around steadiness, family, early childhood work, and quiet continuity. For many viewers, that makes her appearances feel reassuring. For the institution, that makes her presence valuable. But for Kate personally, it may also mean that every public step carries more symbolic weight than it would for almost anyone else in the family. A careful point is this: no one outside Kate's private circle can state how she feels about that pressure. What is confirmed is the public pattern. She stepped back during treatment. She announced remission in January 2025. She resumed duties gradually. She returned to major symbolic events. She made a significant overseas work visit tied to early childhood. And in the same period, the monarchy continued dealing with scrutiny around Andrew, distance from Prince Harry, and the broader challenge of keeping public confidence during King Charles' reign. That is why the rock star label is not just a compliment. In royal coverage, popularity is rarely simple. It can bring warmth, attention, and public goodwill, but it can also create expectation. If Kate appears, people analyze her outfit, expression, health, body language, and family interactions. If she does not appear, people analyze the absence. That is the burden behind the praise. The start line takeaway is that Kate's latest public chapter should be read with balance. Her recent appearances are meaningful because they show a gradual return to visible royal life after a publicly confirmed health crisis. They also help the royal family project continuity at a time when the institution is still navigating pressure. But viewers should not assume that a smiling appearance answers every private question, and they should not treat expert commentary as if it came directly from the palace. What has been confirmed is clear. Kate attended Trooping the Color in June 2026. She returned to Royal Ascot. Her Italy visit supported her early childhood work. She previously announced remission after cancer treatment, and a separate privacy breach investigation connected to the London clinic ended with a formal caution for a former healthcare professional. What remains unclear is how Kate herself views the growing symbolic weight of her role, because she has not publicly framed it in those terms. For now, the Princess of Wales appears to be carrying one of the most visible roles in the royal family, with careful pacing. The public may see a polished balcony moment, a carriage procession, or a smiling wave. But behind those images is a much larger story about recovery, privacy, public expectation, and a monarchy looking to its future. And the question still hanging over it is not whether Kate is popular. The question is how long one person's public presence can be expected to carry so much meaning.